SPLA repulsed rebel attack on Gadiang, inflicting heavy casualties on the attackers. And locals return to Lair County as the army restores law and order there. And coming up, youth from the region gathers in Juba in search of peace and reconciliation. Good evening. You are watching the news coming to you live from South Sudan Television in Juba. I am Alejandro Lotok, and the full text of the bulletin is here. SPLA has repulsed an attack on its positions in Gadiang, 80 kilometers north of Jonglei State capital, Bor. A statement from the Army's General Headquarters says heavy casualties have been inflicted on the rebels who are on the run towards YOAH area. SPLA forces in Jonglei assured the public of their readiness and capability to protect and defend the population from the state enemies.
23rd of February 2014. Today, the 23rd of February 2013, at 10 minutes to 5 in the morning, forces loyal to Riek Machar launched an attack on SPLA forces at Gadiang, 80 kilometers north of Bor town. The attackers who fled towards YOAH, leaving behind 173 dead bodies on the scene. Our forces lost 10 and 20 wounded under the overall commander, Lieutenant General Malwala Yom Dor, assured the public of the SPLA in full control of the situation. This attack is continued violation to cessation of hostilities by the rebel forces as they continue attacking on Malakal, Bailiet, and Fiji.
We're going now to Unity State, where thousands of civilians are left exposed to severe humanitarian situations in Lair County of the state. The forces loyal to Riek Machar previously looted and destroyed the area before the National Army flushed them out of the town. As James Arusi reports, civilians have started returning into Lair County, but basic service delivery remains a big challenge.
The impact of the 15th December attempted coup has no limit of destruction in Unity State, thinking it was only in Bentiu, the capital of Unity. But what took place in the county of Lair is so grave for recovery. The visiting delegation of Crisis Management Committee ran out of words on the site of destruction that had graved a Lair County of Unity State. Roads are lonely, houses abandoned, and neither hospital or school was operating.
نقول للمواطنين إنه لا للحرب، أننا للتنمية، وحكومة بتاعكم ما قاعد بعمل داعي للحرب، بعمل داعي للسلام وتنمية، وحكومة بجيف معكم. الشيء كمان ده نوري للحكومة بتاعنا إنه حكومة يحاول ويسعى للانترناشونال كوميونيتي إنه المواطنين في مدينة لاير ما عندهم أي حاجة، نابهم ما فضلوا بكل، ما فضلوا بأي حاجة، يعني قاعدين بيدينهم، يعني لما تمشي في بيوتهم هتلقوا قاعد ما عنده أي حاجة، عنده رياك شالو. فدايرين حكومة يبذل جهوده مع international community يساعدهم بمساعدات بالعكاس أكل أهم شيء والدواء.
As the government could have spent billions of dollars and days to erect schools and seed towns is taken to the people. But all the effort that had spent years has been brought down in a single day. Children trying to pick up pieces of textbooks left by the looters in school. But there is no sight of hope for any who stays behind in this county to receive any necessary basic need like education, since shops, hospital, and many service provision centers were burnt down.
نحن هسه قاعدين في المنطقة هنا ده باستقرار بالكامل. فحتى مواطن البسيط طبعا هم قاعدين يجوا، لكن في خوف. هم طبعا عملوا بروباغندا من ماسا انه في واحد اسمه تانجينيا بيجي بطريق بتاع ما يندد، بيجي بضرب الليل، انتم يا شعب انتم ما تخوي في المقاطع. ولكن الفهم الكتب في الروس بتاع ناس، لكن في النهايه اننا كحكومه ودينا رساله، وفي النهايه المواطن البسيط يعرف انه الشغل ده مو بين دينكا ونوير، ده مجرم بتاع جنوب السودان، وكان عمل قبل كده من 91 جاب بدا رجع في حقه تاني. مين موضوع بيقول انه نوير ودينكا ووين، ده كلام زي ده ما في، حتى مواطن في الواقع يعرفوا انه دكتور ياك. طيب 91 هل في موضوع زي ده؟ ما ده انقلاب كان عمله ورجعوا فوقه، وكان مضلل الناس بقول للمواطنين انتم ما ترجع لير والله مسكوا منه دينكا. لكن من يجيني مواطنين يجي يلقوني قايد، بجي شباب بتاع محافظ بتاع ما يندي قايد، بجي منو قايد قاعد نتكلم بروتانور يا اخوانا. لما نجينا هنا بنجي بكرة واحد بقول لنا لا قاعدين في مدينه ده دينكا. طيب ده تاكير يندم. هل كلام ده كيف بنقول لهم يا اخوانا انتم شيل الرساله ده؟ حتى موضوع بيقولوا تانجي بيجي بيهاجم لير ده مدة 10 سنه تانجي ما بقدر بيجي فوقه.
The people left behind remain in urgent need of basic services and food that have no sight of when it will arrive in such areas.
أنا اسمي جيمس راي جاي وكوميشنر بتاع مينديت كونتي. فأنا بقول لكم زي ما أنتم شفتوا، لأنه يزول هذا الشاهد على جاد عمل ريبل. معناته بتشوف الشغل ده شغل بالنسبة للناس المجرمين. ده ما ناس الدارين حكومة، وده ما ناس الدارين إنه المواطن بتاع الجنوب يعيش مرتاح. يعني ناس زي ده لما تشوفوا أنت بتشوف يعني زي ما ناس اللي ما قاعدين، وأنت بتشوف لما تراجع خلفيات بتوعه أنت بتشوف إنه ده كله ما في ذول إنه جنة هنا في اللير. أنا ببدأ من رياض مشار، ده ما رياض مشار واحد من أمناء بتاع ليرين، يعني من أمناء بتاع ليرين ما زوج في لير، ما عنده مرة في لير ولا جنة بتوعه زوج في ليرين. ده كله وماشي زوج في بلد بتاع خواجات، يعني بيعمل دمار الشامل لأنه وما في حاجة ممكن بخوصهم زي ما انتوا. انا كرئيس بتاع مقاصة بتاع مينديت، فزي ما توقعوا انتوا ما وصلتوا فوق هسه هتوصل فوقه. كو ذاته نفس المدمر زي ده، دمروا زي ده، وده ما ممكن انه ناس بيعرف نفوسهم من امنامتها هنا ده ما ممكن يعمل حاجات زي ده. الحمد لله جاء الشعب تيسر على مناطق كله من جنوب الولايه، يعني ده حاجه كويس شديد. يعني في وصول بتاعنا بعد ما وصلنا هنا يعني لقينا محل ده كله كربه، والجيش الشعبي قدر انه يتيسر على مناطق اللي قاعد فيه مواطنين، والمواطنين هسه قاعدين راجعون، هم قاعدين بيجي هنا في منطقه وقلنا لهم انه تعالكم في منطقه.
ونحن متعاونين شديد بنحل مشاكلهم ودايرين نرجعهم في مناطقهم اللي كان لقيناه كربان من الاخوان متمردين او القياده بتاع كون شول. لو في مشاكل بسيط نحن قاعدين نحل سوا مع سيد المحافظ، لأن المحافظ جاء نفس الوقت ونحن قاعدين نتعاملوا وجيجهم ومهادهم يعوا في لر، وهم بيشوف القاعدين في لر هنا ده أخوانهم وده إخواتهم وده أبوهات بتاعهم. وأنا برحب باللجنة الوصل من رئاسة الجمهورية منطقة لر مؤمن أننا بنأمنه لأبد، لأنهم مسيطرين عليه، أمن بتاعه كويس. لو في أي حاجة بس الشعب بتاعنا في لر أو في بنتي وقليل.
Really, people here now have left this, abandoned this place, leaving this once a busy town like this, only skeletons of structures and no life existing here. Only the army forces trying to keep it once again secure for the citizens to return back and start a new chapter of life. James Arusi Hatanga, Lair County.
Still in Unity State, it is now 2 months since Machar rebelled against the government. Some rebels have started defecting from his rebel forces and rejoined the National Army, SPLA. A report from Unity State indicates that more than 1,000 soldiers loyal to Machar have laid down arms and joined government forces after realizing that Machar has cheated them and lacks political agenda. James Arusi accompanied the Crisis Management Committee and reports from the Unity State capital, Bentiu.
Yes, vitana. Jeshi vitana SPLA.
The delegation of the Crisis Management Committee notes the need for the SPLA forces to execute their mandate with unity. They also urge the soldiers to welcome those who have thought twice and return to serve the government. The delegation further applauded the brave soldiers for regaining unity state from the rebels, appreciating their effort with a gift of 10,000 South Sudanese pounds to celebrate their victory against the state enemies. It's an estimation of a number of once lost soldiers that were deceived by Riek Machar's loyalists to fight a meaningless fight against the government of South Sudan. The delegation of the Crisis Management Committee, led by Honorable MAJONG, in its exercise of mobilization and sensitization in Unity State, received a briefing on the stand of the SPLA soldiers under General Santino Dengwar, Commander of Operation in Unity State.
Riek Machar lokan daira hukuma udawad minam na bantiu mahmurut yaktul muwatin bitat pariam muwatin tada biyumnum muita da nas chanta kur reis ule taktul al-gabal ita tahakam bagabila واحد قبيله نوير بس برا في دولة قبيله الكلام ده ما في وما يكون في دولة نوير ما كان كله ما بيكون في دولة دينكا ما أظن رياك ما فكر كلام ده كويس يبقى ناس قتال الدائر في ملكال ده قتال ما منظم قتلوا المواطنين في الكنيسة قتلوا المواطنين في المستشفى وده ما كان يبان في الحرب القبلية في بلد ذول الورب الجرى في مستشفى والجرى في هاجرة في الوقت في هروب البدري بين النوير برام ذار وبين الدينكا ذول الجرى في الوقت ساكت ده انت ما بتشوفه عشان تحرق الوقت فده حربة رياك ما نظم كويس أظن رياك ده يوم لا يوم يموت ما يعني ما بيجينا الجرائم هو عمل الجرائم beyond يعني humanity لو مشيت في منطقة تاباليت في 375 مواطن قتلوا في مستشفى وكنيسة ده مود لما تشوف ذاته إنسان ما ممكن يعمل.
The gallant SPLA forces managed to file and document the acts where many of the innocent and defenseless soldiers were slaughtered and burnt in cold blood. They say they wait for the war crime investigators to share the report with the enemy's human rights sector.
العالم كله ما condemn رياك بالحركات ده ونحن ما نقبل إنه رياك يمشي بدون أي محاسبة لأنه ده عملية إجرامية ده war crime beyond war crime this is genocide رياك يتركب هنا في لناس في بنتيو فده جنوب لازم يقوم بصوت واحد يوري رياك في محاكمة ناكمو في جنوب مش في وور كرايم ناكمو في جنوب ده عشان شعب جنوب يقدر يعرف إنه ده هو مجرم.
It's now almost 2 months after these government forces, the brave sons of South Sudan, managed to capture this town of Bentiu from the renegade rebels of Dr. Riek Machar. But now the question that remains ringing in this mind of the soldiers, although they build confidence among the civilians now returning back home, is who will be accountable for the killing of, in cold blood, of their friends who were serving in the army when the rebels took over this town. For SSTV News, I'm James Arusatanga in Bentiu town of Unity States.
In search for peace, youth delegates from the 10 states are gathering in Juba to discuss how young people can play a constructive role for peace and reconciliation. The meeting was organized by the Crisis Management Initiative under the umbrella of the National Youth Dialogue Platform with a fair representation of all the states. Malwal reports.
Concerned youth
delegates from all the states of the country gathered in Juba to discuss how young people can play a constructive role for peace and reconciliation. The strategizing meeting was organized and facilitated jointly by the Crisis Management Initiative and the Organization for Non-Violence Development. The meeting brought together youth leaders, fair representation, all the state ethnic groups, and both rural and urban areas.
This is the beginning for the peace in South Sudan. And me as a youth, we have discussed a lot of activities that to be done to stop the crisis in the country. We are recognized we use of South Sudan or in other country. We are the energy, we are the manpower, and we realize we are the ones or we are the solutions to everything. And now we are from different states, 10 states from South Sudan, being represented by 3 youths. And this dimension is a beginning, and we are feeling to our youth from wherever they are, the South Sudanese, in East Africa, in Europe, in America, wherever they are, to maintain peace and reconciliation.
The workshop discussed the reason why and whether the youth should take an active role in the resolution of the crisis and how they could advance concerted effort for peace. The National Youth Dialogue Platform outlined a concept roadmap for action, including asserting a constructive voice to the current talks in Addis Ababa, conducting a statewide mobilization to encourage unity and reconciliation among their peers across the country.
In fact, what had been happened in the country is very unfortunate. It is very, 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 very bad. In fact, we are really condemned that as a youth of 10 states. What I want to tell to the youth of the Republic of South Sudan is that let us unite and let us share the view. To do that, we need to forget what has been done by the politicians of dividing the youth, that the youth are belong to the certain tribe, which has been lost the life of our citizens. I'm not going ahead. I want to assure our people, especially the youth and the community, let us unite, let us stand firm to bring the peace and to build our young nation.
The CMI project manager in South Sudan, Jonah, said they are working to enable the youth to find a strength in unity and to show an example of truly inclusive efforts by working together across all communal and ideological differences.
So this workshop brings together young leaders from all of the 10 states, from diverse regions, ethnic groups, and backgrounds. It aims to create space for the youth leaders to come together, discuss, dialogue at this critical time of South Sudan's history, to think of ways how youth could constructively contribute to the resolution of the crisis that we are underliving, and how they could be promoting peace and reconciliation through joint efforts. And the workshop is organized by Crisis Management Initiative, a Finnish organization working to prevent and resolve violent conflict, and local organizations in partnership with ONAD, Organization of Non-Violence and Development. Throughout the 3 days, the youth have discussed the practical ways. They have developed a practical action plan, what they would like to do. I'm sure what the youth delegates can share more. And then all together kind of trying to create consensus of how everybody could be positively contributing to a peaceful resolution of the crisis, and how young people could be actually leading these efforts and showing an example of unity and reconciliation, of coming together. Thank you. That's a very good question. That actually has been identified as a priority by the youth. What they want to do is to conduct states-level, country-wide, local-level consultations reaching out to their peers to have their ideas and their views of what are the root causes of the conflict and what do they see as resolutions, compile them together and take to national leadership, take to IGAD-led negotiations, and thereby really have the youth voice constructively being part of the search for solutions. So it will be beyond Juba. This is only
7 senior officials from the ruling Sudan People's Liberation Movement, SPLM, were awarded master degrees in arts on Saturday. The leaders had pursued 3-year postgraduate studies at the International Leadership Institute in collaboration with University of Greenwich in London. Among the graduates are the party's vice chairman, James Waniiga, Central Equatorial Governor, Clement Wanikonga, and SPLA Chief of General Staff, General James Hothmai.
Education has no limit. 7 SPLM leaders graduated from the International Leadership Institute in collaboration with the University of Greenwich of London. The graduates include the Vice President of the Republic, James Waniiga, SPLA Chief of General Staff, General James Hothmai, Central Equatorial State Governor, Clement Wanikonga, and among others.
Education is supposed to teach people awareness about the values of democracy, so that we abide with democracy. Not the other way around, not violence, not taking power by force. A person who takes power by force is a primitive person, not educated.
The studies of these leaders were sponsored by the SPLM party as of the party PUOT to build the capacity of its cadets. The 7 graduates were among the 27 students which had undergone 3 years studies on different fields of leadership, something the nation needs at this stage. The 7 senior party officials were awarded master's degree in art. The president of the institute, Professor Baget Bakele, thanks the SPLM for their commitment to build the capacity its leaders as the only means of providing change in the country.
Take this opportunity to thank the leadership of the SPLM for giving us the opportunity to educate and empower the leaders to develop their capacity and leading themselves and their institutions in a better way. We are hopeful this partnership to be strengthened in the future until we see committed and concerned South Sudanese leaders who are committed in doing their best for the development of the country they love.
The journey of transformational leadership and change was designed to provide leaders of South Sudan with theoretical knowledge as well as practical skill to shape their leaders' style. Professor Baget urges his students to put in practice what they had learned in class, or to live as a selfless by contributing the best share to the development, growth, and prosperity of humanity.
It was not easy at all with our dirty, heavy work. We managed to finish this course with difficulties. It was not easy at all. We have so many challenges that encountered us during the course. But because of determination, we did it. And I think this knowledge will help our country. It shapes us as reformers, and we are going to benefit from this knowledge, and the country as a whole will benefit from this.
While the Minister of Cabinet, Past Dr. Martin Ilia Lomoro, commends the SPLM leadership for pursuing their studies, saying this will now enable them to champion the much needed transformation and change in the country.
Because it's giving opportunity for people who fought and constantly concentrated on liberation struggle. They never thought of administration, nation building, leadership quality, interpersonal skills, timekeeping, all the things that they're talking about. They didn't have a chance. But now that we're free, it is right, and only right, that the aspirant to think the way they thought, in order to avail the opportunity to people like Professor Badik Bekele to institute, transform, and reform the mentality of war, the mentality of leadership. I think that's what we do.
And the Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Dr. John Guy, hailed the party leadership for taking their time to future their academic lives, adding that they should now act as transformers.
Yeah, the importance of this occasion lies in two things. One, that leadership of SPLM has taken upon it to train its own leaders in the leadership course. This has been an exercise since 2007 that the SPLM embarked into, and it has managed so far to train almost about 14 of the leadership. The second importance of this is, if the leadership are interested in understanding the meaning of the leadership, what it takes to be the leader, the dynamics of the leadership, the responsibilities of the leadership, the challenges that face leadership, and the ability and the capacity to be a leader within a given environment, I think it shows that there is a recognition that there are certain skills that can be acquired through education for a leader to become a leader. This is one. Secondly, it also means that the leadership of the country is recognizing that there is a need for different sectors of the society at various levels of the leadership that education can transform. And I think that's very important. And we encourage this as a Minister of Education, that leaders begin to value the education and the skills that is provided. It also means that we need now to move with a bigger vigor that educating literacy, illiteracy will become a priority of the state. And I think this already has shown that with the crisis we are going through, educating illiteracy become a national priority. And
SPLM Acting Secretary General ITTO expressed the party readiness to offer more learning opportunities to the cadets. ITTO said the party had commitment plans to educate its members.
Comrades, SPLM is all about change. It is about changing people's lives to the better. And it's on this account that in 2011, we decided in the General Secretariat to prepare our leaders for an effective role in the transformation of this country by offering them an opportunity to improve their leadership skills, style, and ability. And to do this, we identified the International Leadership Institute, and we're very happy that they agreed to train our leaders for us.
As education have no hand, and leaders of South Sudan think of changing South Sudan to the better, our leaders today pursued their master degree in change and in leadership. For SSTB, Port Johnson Matura Cage.
And the youth have been urged to maintain their cultural heritage and identity. Youth from the Bari community gathered in Rajab West, marking their cultural day. The community leaders further urges the youth to act as agents of change by promoting their culture and to respect that of others as a way of recognizing the diversity of the nation.
جيت حضرت يعني حفلة بتاع أطفال صغار عاملها واحد من الأولاد حقنا، وأنا طبعا وقفت في محل زي ممثل بتاع BC. حقيقة نحن مكسوتين بالعملية العيال اللي جنبيه. نحن بنشجع كل عيال مش بس بتاع BC، حتى عيالنا في كل مكان لازم عشان يقدر يتعلم في عادات في تام، سواء كان عادات بالذات عشان هم يقدر يعرف يعني عن عاداتهم في جميع المجتمعات المختلفة بتاع الجنوب.
Well, if you might have heard from the young people there singing that the unity of the nation is very important. And this is how we end this bulletin. I am Leandro Lotok and the colleagues at work here saying thank you very much for your company, and the rest of the programs are coming on your way. Stay tuned.
Know about Transit Hotel in Juba? Transit is a 5-star hotel with distinct services among many. Transit Hotel is a 3-story complex building with beautiful executive rooms. Transit Hotel is secured and friendly. We have good conference hall with wireless internet, air condition, and so on.